there everyone, how's it going? Today I want to take a look at a couple of, well, more than a couple of Star Wars stuff. Just basically just talk about it. Normally I would do this in the AJ Hordak format, but especially with Ray Stevenson, it's hard to write a joke. I mean, it's hard to make a joke about the sad passing of Ray Stevenson. And plus I'm mixing up scales, so yeah, that's even worse. I'm sure some people are going to be like, you can't do that. And that was going to be my joke, my main joke. But then I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And R2 over here has sat to the sideline for months. I've been trying to get to R2, and I just can't. It's just like, oh, because I want to do something different with him, and then it's like, oh, what am I going to do with that one? So here we are. I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to start off with the 1/18 scale figures and then move my way over to the Black Series. So starting off, we got the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, and, a lot of people are going to complain about this one because of the way he looks. And I got to say, I mean, if you're going from the source material, he's fine. If you try to go from Star Wars Rebels, you're going to have a problem. It's that animated look, and it works, but I can see why people are complaining it doesn't look quite right. And I was really thinking about it, and it does look like there had to be some CGI involved in the prequels for that look. And yeah, I kind of see why they didn't try to emulate that in the Obi-Wan series. Animation, you can get away with it, but I saw the problem. Everything is, the Obi-Wan series was a tough one because it seemed like it had some good qualities, but it kept going off the rails a little bit. And, how many times can people get stabbed in the stomach with a lightsaber and live? I mean, that didn't seem very good either. I didn't like that aspect. I'm going to be honest about it. And I mean, it carried over into the Ahsoka series too. So that was problematic. And I was saying it when I watched it. I was like, yeah, this is problematic. It shouldn't. This, loses all intensity if everybody can survive a gut shot. I mean, for the figure for what it is, I mean, it's okay. I never did like the helicopter aspect of their lightsabers. But at the same time, I don't hate the character or the figure. I kind of ignore a lot of what happened in Kenobi because, and especially on a rewatch, geez, it really sticks out on a rewatch that this was not good. This was not well handled or well maintained. I mean, I can't say it any nicer than that. I mean, it had a lot of potential. And I think when I watched it the first time, I saw the potential in it, and then it kind of draped off. And, again, when she stabbed the Inquisitor, and then he just came back at the end, it's like, what the hell? And, and she gets stabbed by Darth Vader, and like, a few minutes later, it's just fine. Yeah, just but a flesh wound. Yeah, it drove me freaking bananas. It really did. And I can't say that the show was very good. It wasn't. While I liked the fight that Vader and Obi-Wan had, I didn't like how Obi-Wan just kind of like walked away and didn't do anything. There was no reason for him to. I mean, previously he had thought, oh yeah, well, I guess he burned up. And yeah, I can get, okay, he finds out that that's Anakin. Oh God, what did I do? I made it worse. And etc. I could have accepted that part, but the fact that he just walked away, I was like not on board. I was just like, what the hell are you doing? That makes no sense. And it kind of really ruined the rest of the show for me. That and Reva. Reva was the other one. I could not stand that character. But I didn't hate the Inquisitor. I didn't do much with him, so that's why, they couldn't ruin him too much. Then we have the figure that never, ever, ever should have been a deluxe, Cobb Vanth. I'm sorry, I don't understand this. I mean, I admit, when he showed up in The Mandalorian, I was kind of happy because, first off, he's played by Timothy Oliphant. Second off, he was one of those characters I really wanted from the EU to stay I don't want to say alive, stay existing, and existed. I mean, they grabbed it. It was one of their first big grabs from the expanded universe. I thought it was, a good one to grab. Now they're just grabbing everything from the expanded universe, and it's like, okay, come on, guys. I mean, you're gonna just farm the expanded universe for Star Wars now? I mean, that seems kind of lame, and I'm not happy with it. But this should have never been a deluxe figure. I mean, that's pointless. I mean, Boba Fett has come with that many weapons and not been a deluxe figure, so this is just quite ridiculous to me. And when I saw it, I was like, no way. Of course, it went to clearance because people have sense and know not to buy something like this for that much. And once it went to clearance, yeah, okay, $11, I'm good. But also, I really think this figure specifically really shows that Hasbro is gouging us heavily, because this type of figure came out in the Legacy Collection with that many accessories. I mean, that's basic Boba Fett accessories. I mean, no doubt about it. And he was like $5. And that was not that long ago. That was a little over 12 years ago. Inflation isn't that big. People might want to argue that it is, but that's a bunch of bullshit. And honestly, I mean, these deluxe figures have been a joke with Star Wars. I mean, they're just trying to make us pay more for less. I mean, people are talking about that Spider-Man figure right now, and probably by the time this posts, we'll know the price. But, if you ever wonder why I think Hasbro is trying to, gouge us, this is one of the reasons. Because that is a ridiculous price for a figure that is not a deluxe. I mean, Boba Fett has had rifle, gun, backpack. I think the only thing he didn't have as a regular release figure, not as a deluxe figure, as a regular release figure, was the fire for the jetpacks. To me, it's just freaking ridiculous. And every time I see it, they did it with Sabine, they've done it with so many figures, and it does seem like the deluxes come with less and less. I was really surprised with Black Chrysanthemum how much stuff he came with. That was a big shocker to me, because I thought he was going to be just like the deluxe version from Black Series, which came with next to nothing. And he actually had a lot of stuff. Now, was it stuff I think he needed? No. No, he did not need it. But he had stuff. But this, I mean, to me, again, most blatant, just because we've had that figure. We've had that figure a dozen times. Probably not the same mold. They probably tooled some stuff, but, I mean, ridiculous. I've got Boba Fett's, Jango Fett's even, that have that much in accessories. And, no, they were never going that price. And to go that price is just beyond ridiculous. It is just beyond ridiculous. I mean, yeah, oh, you put them on a bigger card, so what? The card's going in the garbage. It really bugs me about Hasbro right now because, I mean, they keep doing this. And yeah, no wonder people aren't buying your freaking products because you're pulling shit like this. And if I sound a little mad about it, I am. I love Vintage Collection, and they're upscaling the price on Vintage Collection because they know it's selling until the point that it goes, sorry, we're not going to sell anymore. 16. Yeah, I can see why people are not paying $16. And no, don't worry, this was like $9 and $11. There's no way I was going to be paying $16 for a vintage scale figure. No way. You know, that may change. There is a couple coming out that I'm kind of like, oh. And that will come up in the video later. R2. I have delayed R2 for a while because, truthfully, I'm happy to have him, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I want to do something different with R2, and it never seemed to work out. He's got a bunch of attachments. I'm going to be honest, I can't get most of the places to put the attachments open. I don't know what they've done here, but they have. Still, it's a great figure. It's nice that he's scaled properly. It's nice that I got my OT done. Though the original trilogy figures are done now for Black Series, I'll put them all up on the shelf and be happy with them because that's primarily what I want is the OT up there. Speaking of the OT, Ollie's. Now I've got her on a stand because that is, and her foot pegs are shit. That is actually a mistake stand. That the peg is actually much smaller than it should be, and it's the only one that works with her, and it's actually for a wider stance figure. So that's ridiculous. I do like this outfit. I mean, this is her at the ceremonial gear. That's pretty cool. I do like that. And of course, this was an Ollie's run because Ollie's good stuff cheap, and it was the day they had 33% off. So I got it for $6, $6.60 to be exact. I think that's a fair deal. It is a decent mold of Carrie Fisher, although I do wonder how they're getting better likenesses with the 3 3/4 inch than the 6 inch. Don't understand that. I still like it, don't get me wrong, and again, this is in the OT range, so I was like, yeah, okay, I want some OT. I bought the other two in the vintage. I just wanted some more characters in my collection. I like Cobb Vanth. I do like the Grand Inquisitor. I didn't want to get the 5POA piece of junk that they did a couple of years ago for Rebels. Just didn't like it. But yeah, I'm very much welcoming her to my collection because you know, I switch out my Princess Leia's, so you know that would be a good. This is a good one to have because that final ceremony, you know, you don't see her that much. So yeah, and of course, yeah, she's got soft goods, which means yeah, Hasbro knows how to do that. They just won't. Also, on the back, her hair, I like how her hair is done. It's real good. But she doesn't need to be wearing these damn heels that cause her to fall over, basically. You know, it's really difficult to work with an action figure that has that. Then finally, on sale at Walmart.com, of course. And I really wanted this figure because of the many things in the Ahsoka series, one of the few things I really enjoyed was the performance of Ray Stevenson. And, you know, basically, I wanted a figure of that. I got him on sale, Walmart.com, and basically just because I thought they're never going to do a vintage collection version. If they were going to, they would have announced it by now. Lo and behold, 3 days after I get it, they announce they're doing a vintage collection Balan Skoll. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers. You know, I thought they might do it for Ahsoka Season 2 with Rory McCain since they've recast him. But I wanted the Ray Stevenson one. You know, most. You know, that's what I wanted. I saw that and I went, you assholes. You freaking assholes. Waiting that long to put out that figure. Because, you know, when they did Ahsoka the White, I'm like going, okay. I don't see him. He ain't coming out. Here comes Acolyte figures. It's like, oh, shit. There we go. So, yeah. I couldn't help but to kind of laugh at that. At the same time, I'm a little pissed about it. You know, what can I say? Again, I do like how his cloak just sits like that. It's pretty cool. I need to figure out how they're doing that. And I do really enjoy. I did really enjoy his character. I was so sad when I heard he died. I was just like, oh man, we're never going to see how his arc goes. He's doing something, and it looks interesting. And so when I heard they were recast for Rory McCain, I'm like, I mean, Rory McCain's a good actor. You know, in case you don't realize who he is, he was the Hound in Game of Thrones. That'll help you out there. So I heard it. I was like, okay. I mean, it could be worse. Rory McCain's at least a good actor. So I hope he doesn't try to play Balan Skoll like the Hound. That would be weird. But yeah, I'm really interested in learning more about that character. And again, I wanted a Ray Stevenson. Well, I'll get the vintage one anyway, because, you know, that's a character I liked enough I can get both scales. So there aren't many of those, but that is one. So all in all, I mean, I keep saying I'm done with Black Series, but, you know, when you go to Ollie's and see something you like, you're tempted. Only thing I paid full price for was the R2, just because I really wanted a good scaled R2 with my OT collection, and now I've got him. And, you know, there are aspects of Disney Star Wars I have to admit I like. Cobb Vanth. I like and hate the Inquisitor at the same time, but when he was on sale, that was enough for me to go, okay, I'll get that. And, of course, Balan Skoll. Again, would not have bought that if I had known the vintage was going to come out. But I did buy it. It's not a bad figure, of course. I dig Balan Skoll. It was one of the few things I liked about the Ahsoka show, was his character. And, you know, honestly, I can't wait to get him in vintage scale. Although, I really wish he had been in vintage scale before, then I would have got him a long time ago. I don't understand waiting that long to put his figure out. That seems like a real misstep on their part. You know, who knows with Hasbro anymore? I mean, seriously. But I will say my Star Wars is dying down. There's only so much of the OT you can get, and there's very little of the new stuff I like. So where am I going to go from there? Hey, especially when I can get a pretty cool Princess Leia for $6.60. That's pretty damn awesome. But anymore with Star Wars Black Series, it depends on what's at Ollie's. I just wait for Ollie's to get it and see what's out. There's just a few things. I can't think of anything right now that I would pay full price for. I know there's a new Farm Boy Luke, and I'm kind of like, I don't even know if I want that figure, to be perfectly honest about it. You know. So, clearancing is the way I'm going with Star Wars. Not that I hate Star Wars. It's just, the value for what Hasbro gives us is not there. And it's really frustrating. And really sad because, you know, on top of that, Disney's screwing it up. I hope, I really, really hope that Balan's story turns out pretty good. I got a bad feeling they're going to mess it up. But we'll see. We'll see with Ahsoka Season 2, even though I hesitate to watch that one. Although, minus the ending, Skeleton Crew was alright. So we'll see how that works out. Again, unless I start doing good stories, there's not going to be a reason to do new toys, because nobody's going to care. And people don't care. So that's the point. Alright, well, that's me showing off some toys. I know this isn't the AJ Hordak thing you're used to. At the same time, those get a little daunting, and God, writing a joke for Ray Stevenson was tough. I didn't want to do a single video. So I was looking around saying, okay, these are going to be tough to write jokes for too, so let me just have these out and just talk about them and be done with it. I thought that was the best way to handle it. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to do the like and subscribe, and we'll catch you later.